Really sorry. I pressed the wrong button. Sorry guys, that was me. Sorry. That's nice. I'm not drawing this at the moment, don't worry. Sorry about that, guys. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Liz again. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. It's my fault completely. So I'm just going to hang around for people to come back in. We're going to draw an enemies. Hello, I'm still here, don't worry. I'm just trying to get everybody here. People have been lost now. Right, oh, I hope we haven't lost everybody. Hello! Elise, I love your work. I hope everybody's going to join us. We haven't got many in because I lost feed. So it's a case of waiting for people to come back if they want to come back. But a lot of people watch later, I hope. Because otherwise there's no point in doing these. Anyway, what I decided was going to do the anemone. So I was looking at, I know, sorry Jane. I was looking at this wonderful book and I was looking at these flowers and saying how easy these are to draw. And if you think we've done some drawings before and you've all blown me away with what you can do, these are ones we did the other day. Okay, these are ones that these were the tryouts, 2-minute jobs, and then we did this one. So it's all about the basis of drawing flowers. It's very simple, very easy. Anyone can do it. Just to reiterate about shapes. So first of all, when we talk about flowers, there's a basic shape for all of them, and we're looking. No, you haven't lost me, Philippa. It's here. I'm here. There's a basic shape for all flowers, and they follow this. And this is what you look for as a starting point. So the first flowers are sort of cone shape like that, and then we'll get some that are wider like that. And when I say that, they don't have to have a point then, it's just the overall shape. And trees are the same. And then we get ones, cones inverted, like that. And then we get round ones, and then we get almost half ones like that. And so you can get quite tall vertical ones as well. So you start with a shape, and a lot of them are based on triangles. So if we look at this again, you know, you put that into a triangle, that would go into a triangle, that would, and then with these long ones, it's very easy. All you do, I haven't got my card, Jane, otherwise I'd come round. Right, so even if you are unsure of a basic shape, the initial shape will be like that. And drawing is very, very simple. It's not anything tricky. It is really simple. It's just basic shapes, and then with the shapes within those shapes. So say we've got a hydrangea. Thank you. Then the hydrangea would have shapes within it. Do you get me? And then they would have shapes within them. And that's how I draw. All my drawings start with that. So if you look, the other one we need is an ellipse. Now, when I started to learn to draw, I'll show you something now, which is a trick. It's going to be on my course just to show you that when you get, I don't think I've got it now. Right. I don't think this is big enough, but I'll try. You get a piece of paper and you draw around. Oh, you draw around something round like this, and then you draw round it twice. Okay, bit better than me. Then you fold the paper in half, and this base. Oh, look at that! I've gone on my drawing. Never mind. And this will show you what a circle looks like when you have it flat or looking at you. So it looks like that. And as this moves, it shows you. It foreshortens. So it squashes. So an ellipse is this. There's no ends on it. It doesn't like, it's flattened, so it's almost compressed like that. And then you circle. And an ellipse could be like that. So yeah, so you can draw flowers within that. So they're all basically the same. A lot of flowers come from a centre point and fold out. And so they go like this and then like that. But they will instrumentally fold out of themselves. Okay? So, and they'll leave gaps. And where the gap is, the next one. So it overlaps like that. And the reason for that is protection. Right, so I'll give you all that. So hence we've got the begonia. We've got the, that's a bit rubbish anyway, so I don't like that. And we've got the poppy. The poppy is quite a slow one. This isn't big enough for me. It's out of proportion. But I would make these bigger. But you can see how it still applies here. That it overlaps as a protection. And here it is drawn with lines, because I know like Margaret prefers lines. And here's my inspiration for today, looking at these anemones. Okay, so let's start. Let's get an anemone done. So I'm going to be using today some fine pens because we need them. So I've got a 2 and I used up one. What number is that? Number 3. And I'm going to use a very small one today, simply because I need really small. Is that a one? Or is it a brush? No, it's a brush. I did that before, didn't I? You're joking. Out of all these, I haven't got a thin one. That's ridiculous. Oh, I'll find one anyway, but you do need to find one. Okay, well, we don't need that at the moment. Oh, that was one I was doing before. So let's go with our anemone. Okay. So the first thing we need to do, you haven't missed anything, Linda? Okay, so if we look, always keep what you're drawing near you. Always, 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 because that's informing your work all the time. So if we look at this, have it near you so you can see. I can't draw like this because it's ridiculous. So, in fact, I'll draw on one of these. Now, this is the paper from the pad. It'll be easier for you to see. This is the paper from the Studio Light pads. I do like working on them. I do really enjoy working on them. And for that reason, I'm going to do that now. So, first things first, let's get... There isn't... Brilliant. Denise can't find me. I'm just on my page. I'm trying to pull her in now. Oh, I can't tag her. Right, okay, I realise people have missed me. I know I went off, sorry. Right, let's get going with this, otherwise we won't have any time because it's now past and I've done nothing. So the first thing we want to do, right, okay, is we want to create, we're going to do a couple. We want to create our initial shape. Now the anemone is round, okay, but it won't stay round. And if you look at the petals, it's 5 petals, okay? So we have got a big centre, but we've also got another section, but we don't need to do that yet. Am I in Jana's now? It says I'm not in Jana's, it says I'm in my own. Hi Rizwana. Alright, well, it doesn't matter, I'll have to share it later. I'm filming it anyway. So what we're going to do is we look at where we've got 5 petals and we look at where they are. So I'm going to be drawing, right, what I normally do, but I'm going to turn my page because what I want is 12, 6, okay. Now I know that I'm going to have to split this up, so how do I do it? It's really easy. Start with that one. So you go 12, 6, 3, 9, like we always do. I'm going to rub some of these out, but we start it off, okay? So we have that one. What we need to do is split those in half. I'll do that one as well. So let's do that one, that one, that one. Right, so we've got 8. We won't use 8. So we're going to have that one, okay? And then what we need to do is split that one and then these 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll do that again on the other side just to show you. Big circle, 12, 6, 3, 9, 8 sections, centre. This is where you might get lost a little bit, but don't worry. It's got 5 petals. So we need to divide that into an odd number and it's an even number. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to have this one here as 1. Get it? There we go. That is 1. The next one is divided here. So we put a line here. Right? And we've got to divide that. So divide that one and that one. We've got our 5. Again, 12, 6, 3, 9. So we go 12, 1 and whatever it is there. We keep that one. Then we divide this one up into 2. And divide that up into 2 by I. Get me? So we've now got 5. Now that might be confusing, but it's really easy. I'll draw it again. So we've got our 8. Okay, so we have the first one and leave that. So then what's left is that bit. And we've got to divide that by 2. So then we've got that bit left, divide by 2. So if we rub out those, we've now got our 5 lines. Okay, you might have another way, that's cool, no problem with that. You might have another way. You go with whatever you want, I'm happy with that. Now, I'm looking at this, be able to fit this one in here. Right, okay. So this is exactly the same on this one. We'll know it in. There we go. It's a bit smoother this side, okay? So what I'm going to do now is, the pattern that you follow is always based on this. Now, I don't always explain the shape. I don't know what happened then, I went off again. I don't always explain the shape at the beginning because it confuses you, so I don't want to do that. I want to control what I'm giving you one step at a time. If I give you too much information, it's overload and we don't get it done. So by using that simple division like that, you can manipulate that by eye, and it's really simple. So the circle shape is only the basis. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to draw a line that goes like that, okay? And then I'm going to start up and down. Now, I know for a fact that if you look at anemone leaves, they're round. So if I show you it broken down, it's like that. Get me? That's really rubbish. So you're just coming out a little bit to not a central point as such, but a rounded bit. So you come each leaf again, and one might be bigger than the other because it might be in front. Okay, so I've got my anemone shape. You must make sure that these leaves overlap. So I'm just going to put that little edge on them now to show that that one overlaps. Now this one that was small now overlaps there. You get me? So what we did was we put our sections in, we joined it in the middle to the round. That might be a little bit round, but I'll change it in a minute with the pen work. Anything that's too small, we enlarge it by bringing it over the top of the other ones. Okay? And then, but each time you draw your petal, each time, and it's important, each time you draw your petal, you draw all of it. You don't try and add it on. And by add it on, I don't, you know, when you do that, you draw each petal, because then you've got a feel for it. Otherwise, it just looks like a colouring in thing, which is good, but we're drawing a flower. So we've got our centre point. Now our centre point is tight, really tight, really, really tight. It's made up of circles half circles. Now I'm going to get the shape right for you because that's important. So the half circles are round. So I'll do it here, big. So the circle, and don't be tempted to do that, because if you go off fast it don't look right. Do each one, and then if I look at this again, again, the same way, the next one goes in between, like that. So I'm going to go straight in with a pen, and I'm just going to do the centre. I'm not going to do the leaves yet, because there's a reason for that. So I'm going to get the centre in. I'm not drawing the line, I'm just drawing the half moons. Don't have them too rounded. Now these are here to protect this inside bit. Don't be tempted to just run off and do. Now the classes are filmed are really nice, because what I'm doing is I'm doing close-ups, so you'd see right close. So again, the essence really is, because don't forget, it doesn't matter, because whatever's left and white I'm going to fill in myself. Now you do get, generally as you move on, you get too big with your drawing, so that's why it's important to keep the shape right, the size right, the patterning right, and you need to work to the centre, because if you don't, then it doesn't look like it's patterning or it's growing from the centre. It looks like just you're drawing a pattern. It doesn't take long, but we've got a lot of fine detail. Now in here I am just going to fill in only little areas, not a lot, with some dots, and around the edge, and then I'm going to rub out the line. Can you see? I've got some darker dots here. I'll put some darker dots there as well, but I'm not drawing any lines. I'm creating it with the dots depth with the Pointillism, and we are going to do this with now I've got a bit square here, so what I'm going to do is just bring it out a little bit with the dots. You'll see what I mean there. I'll just show you there. I've gone a bit. So I'm changing the shape really easily with the dots. If I'd have drawn a line at the beginning, I wouldn't have been able to bring it out in depth. Can you see? So again, treat each dot separately. Sounds stupid, but you'll get into a rhythm and it'll be so relaxing for you. There we go. I feel happier with that now. Now the anemone has got wonderful like fronds. Now that's why I've not drawn these lines on yet. So let's start with lines. Now, important, turn your paper and go the way of your petal. Turn your paper different heights, because what you tend to do, if you don't turn it, you don't get the right direction. You're sort of doing it without knowing really. So we've got these lines and they look crap. That's great, don't matter. But if I look at that now under the microscope, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go and get my gigs 1 minute, because I'm really going to show you big so you can draw it small. Glasses, wherever you are, please come out to play. Oh, these are good. These are the B&Q ones, not B&Q. That's blooming thingy, that. What's it called? Let me get my glasses on now and have a look. Right, okay. Yeah, got it. Right. It's like a coffee bean. So the centre, let me get it right. And this is important because this is the difference. between good and bad. It's like that, and then it's got a line on it. So each one of those centre parts looks like that. I can't look at the screen and doing that, my eyes have gone funny. Now it's important, there's different heights and different levels of them. So I'm going to go in with a pen and I'm going to treat these all individually. So drawing the line, doubling it up, putting the pod on halfway. Hi Tracy, I'm good, thank you. Yes, I will do, I will, I'll put it on for you. I thought it was in the store. So I'll bring you down again now. Okay? It's got autofocus on, normally I knock that off. Now, I might make some of these seed heads bigger because I'm looking at them and I don't think they're big enough. I think this one is, but I think I need to just make some of these a little bit bigger. And that's not a problem because you just add another side to them. Now I'm stylising this by making it a bit bigger, but I want to, it's my drawing, I want to do it, I will. I'm not too worried if everyone says, oh, that don't look like an anemone. So, do your own thing then, don't watch me. Oh. Well, it's true, innit? I get these people, if they say, oh, I don't like that, well, don't sodding watch it then. Right, so I'm stylising it. I'd go in with a gold pen here. You've got like an inner circle of smaller ones. Now I'm gonna I didn't use my fine pen, but you would use a finer pen. Now I'm going to go in with the leaves, okay? So I'm going to draw my leaves in. One by one. Now remember which is which, so Alexa, stop. I don't want to fall asleep while I'm driving. Oh, I'm not driving. Right. If it overlaps, do not draw it. You only want to draw what's on top. So we've got our 5 petals. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the lines. So we've got our basic anemone, which is a really simple flower to do, very simple. And now we're going to put in some detail using our pointillism. So this comes in underneath, so I'm just going to put in some little dots there because that is behind that, and I'm just going to put a few here as well. So again, space out your dots so that you're giving the impression. Yep, so you're getting the impression of it like that. Okay, so we've got the side of the impression. You can just see the dots there. So I'm going to work my way around. And even if I've gone a little bit doodah on some of these, it doesn't matter because the lines aren't too thick. It really doesn't matter. Now what I am going to do, end up with a regimented pattern if I'm not careful. So be careful when you're going round. Treat each petal as a separate petal and not one that, see that there? That don't matter there because what I'll do is I'll do the dots on it. Oh, you can see it close up. I wonder if I could just do it like that. There you go, that might be better for you. So I'm just going to do either side of that dot there. And then that line disappears. It no longer has a sort of big presence on there, but what it does do is create a bit more depth, so I have to go in with my pen and blend it out, but that's not hardship because I'm enjoying it. So I do the next one. Now this I'm unsure of, but I'm pretty certain that goes under there, and I'm just going to put my lines in. And like that, only small amount. You don't need to put loads on yet. You can do all that later. You're just getting the feel of the petals and the flowers. You're getting to feel how you can. You're getting to feel how they overlap. How would I paint it as velvet? I'd use gouache, 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 whatever you want to call it. There are techniques, but yeah, watercolour, anything that's got a flat background would be best for this. So here I'm just going to now nip it in at the corners just to give it a little bit of, because at the moment it looks flat. I need it to look round, and the way you do that is they have got distinct lines coming, and if you look at this one, quite a dark one, if you look at that one you can see there's dark lines coming through. Okay, so what you need to do is put some on yours. So I'm bearing that in mind, and I'm just going to put a suggestion, and then not all over. Do you remember I always said about the suggestion? So if your leaf is that shape, here's another lesson. I forgot to show you this one actually. It's a good one to do. So you've got a leaf that shape. Okay. Now if you put one line in the middle, this is how you make things look round. And you know that that comes there, that comes there, that's there, and that's there. Each time you progressively, it's getting rounder. So always put one in the middle, then one there, and then one there, one there, one there. Can you see? Now what people tend to do is this. I get it wrong now, and that's when people, it's hard to do wrong. It's hard to do wrong, but they try and do that, and it doesn't make it look as round as that. I don't even know if that's clear, but never mind. So I'm just going to fill in this, and I'm going to bring it out a little bit more because I think it needs it. I'm looking at this now, and it's got some beautiful little creases in it as well. So I'm going to work the creases in. Very gently. There's not, they have like tucks in these, so there we go. So what I want to do is make it distinguish between the lines that are going out and the lines coming from the bottom are different. So again, one in the middle, suggestion that way, and we can do the ones on the outside that way, and then ones not as bent that way, and you get that really shapely. Because what happens is you tend to sort of do it all one way. I'll show you on here, I know what I mean now. If we get here and we go like that, where do we go? There. Where do we go? There. That's why you must put your middle line in. That way, that way, that way, that way. Get me? It's not all that. If I want, that's like going that way, but if I wanted that to go both ways, I'd go middle, round, round, middle, round, round. Hooray! Right, shut up. So let's look at some of the others now. There's definitely a little bit of folding here. Like that. It's a bit heavier there. We've got a bit of a kink in there. Oops, excuse me. 1 minute. Hello? Oh, cheers, thank you. What's this? Oh, I know what it is. Hooray! Hooray! I ordered that yesterday. Right, ready? He looked at me funny because I've got like conditioner on my hair and a bag on it. I must have thought I was a weirdo. Anyway, that's all right, isn't it? So I've put the lines in there. There's a little bit here. This is like weird because there's a little bit of a crease on this one. And there's another one here, and it's sort of the central point of it is almost. Do you remember what I said yesterday, or the day before, where you create a line by doing what's round it rather than the actual line? It's called negative, and it's almost like that there. It's sort of, you're building the line up around it because it's got a bit of a fold. And they do have quite a few folds in them, looking at them now. Not folds per se, but suggestions of. Can I just say that I've seen some drawings as well. Please don't think that they all have to be the same size and the same, because I'm seeing a lot of people be very regimented. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but there's nothing like actually feeling like you drawing it. I don't think there is. But yeah, it would save people's wrists if you got a pen like that. I know a lot of people rely on one, but so we've got that. We've got a little bit here just to show that it's going in there and there. And follow the shape that you've already drawn. So for instance, follow this shape here. You know, where there's a dint in your wiggle, put a little bit few points on it. Now you can see it's starting to come alive now. So what I am going to do is just very slightly do the edge. Now I'm not doing all, well I am doing all the way around, but I'm just trying to integrate the edge that I've drawn with a fine line and a straight line, and so I don't look like dots there, line there. So I want the dots to be on the line now. I'm telling you all the blooming secrets. Right, okay, so when I'm filming this, I'm going to be filming mushrooms, roses, lilies. And then that way there'll be classes on them as well. People want to draw certain flowers. They'll be on my website. So I'm happy with that. I like that. I think that's coming along nicely. But I do think, looking at what I've got on my picture, I need more definition of this. So what I'm going to do is just darken the edges. Doesn't have to be round. I'm not drawing a line. I'm just darkening the edges, and that's just building up the line, going round and round. Yeah, get a bigger pen if you wish. It's easier. Please, if you could you share the info? Like and share the info when it goes on YouTube, and maybe subscribe. I know a lot of you already are, so thank you very much. But yeah, I'm going to be doing snippets on here, but more on my on my YouTube, because I think it's just easier to find for everybody. You know, people don't always find me on here during the day, so they're a bit lost. So I'll be moving over. I'm not going for Facebook, I'm just moving over. I'm going to be directing everybody there more. It's just easier because you can find what you want when you want. And so there we go. I've now deliberately darkened where I need to be. And it sort of builds up. It'd be funny to watch this in, you know, when you go really fast. You'll forever that, won't it? So not many people in the room, but they are at work. So here I'm just going to, now you can use your pencil, you can use anything, but if you just give yourself a little bit of shading with this, it does work behind here. But I don't want to confuse you too much, but if you put a little bit of shading behind the little stamens, then you do get a really nice sort of shadow effect on it. So just put a few more of them on if you want, make them smaller, make them bigger. It's quite stylized, mine. It's not like a replica of one, as you can tell, but you get the drift of it. So we've got an anemone. I will put a tiny bit of shadow just where these are with my dots. Not a lot, because it doesn't need it. And then what we do then is make sure that whatever you're using, a rubber or a you know, a putty rubber or whatever, cool, just make sure that if you can sharpen your rubber, or use the other end that you've got a square end for, so you've got a nice point on it, and then you can go right in and get your details. And if you lose the point because you're using it to rub out, just slice it off with a knife. Just be careful of your fingers. So you're creating, this is one way of creating quite a velvety background, and you could put a wash on this as well. So this would create a lovely under feel for it. You can just see now it's starting to come alive a little bit more. Get rid of anything that you don't want. If, for instance, you want to create more lines, then say here where it's between these two lines, I'm just going to put that there and rub it in. You see? So what you could do then is just clean it up, and then you've got like a shadow. all that'll be later on. Okay, so there you go, anemone with some pencil shading based on Pointillism. Yeah, I'll be drawing all of them. There'll be classes of 5, and I think most of them are going to be pre-recorded because it's hard to get dates for lives because there's that much going on. Whereas if you get them whenever you want them, it's up to you then, isn't it? You can have them. So I've got a few more classes. I've got the canvas coming this Friday, which I'm looking forward to, and then I've got one more harmonious colour. I'm planning the date for that because I've still got all the planning to do. I've got a lot of it done, but not all of it. And then the date will come out, and then but it's then for you to watch. If you can't watch it, then you can always go back and watch it recorded. So I'm just going to put, I think I need a little bit more help round here, just to give it a little bit more depth. And I think, you know, you can see how this side's becoming more sort of 3-dimensional the more I do, but I'm very conscious that I don't want to overdo it. Don't be tempted to draw a line yet. However, Margaret, I know when Margaret likes to draw with lines, she could do the same just by creating the same pattern. So like that, but then instead of the dots and lines, say I'll draw a leaf like that. There's a leaf from the stamens, and we've got a leaf that's overlapping behind that one there. What we could do is just shade with lines, hatching and cross hatching, and it's exactly the same. Closer the lines, the darker the look. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I love that. I'm going to carry on filming now. Yeah, I'm going to draw. I think the next one is going to be like, I think the next 5 are going to be, I've got my eye on something like an iris, a bluebell, all those sort of things. So anyway, I hope that's wet your whistle. It is easy. It is easy, honestly. It's so easy to do. Really easy. You've got it all there on your fingertips. You just need it broken down. Just need the steps. Once the steps are there, you've got it. You've got it for life. But don't be tempted to go back and do it the old way. Keep to this having a good idea of shape. That's your first point. The first key about any drawing is observation. Really look at it. If it's not there, don't draw it, because you can't see it. That's how I've been taught. Some people, if you're using your imagination, then that's what you do. That's fine. But when we're doing real, actual things, if you want them to have a resemblance of a real flower, then you need to sort of stick to some sort of boundaries. Although rules do need to be broken. It all depends on you. It's like Picasso said, as I've told you, he spent years learning how to draw for the rest of his lifetime to forget. So yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have 5 minutes in my room, but only 5, seriously 5 minutes. So if you go to Junk Journals, I'm going to be in there tidying this up and putting a little bit of a tutorial, and then I'm going to be filming. So have a lovely day, and I will see you. I'm not going to be doing them every day. I can't now because I'm filming. So I will see you Wednesday. I won't see you tomorrow. Wednesday at noon, and yeah, we'll do flora with moodling, and let's see how that turns out. Thank you for your time. Have a lovely day.